we just finished the state championship for cross country, and in all honesty, it went amazing. I mean, it was just phenomenal performance by not just me, the whole team. I mean, it was outstanding. Not great, honestly. We've hit top 10 once in basically program history, I think. It's something about the past 2 decades, but I remember we've only hit top 10 one other time. And that changed 2 weeks ago because we got 8th in the state of Florida. So yeah, we second top 10 finish in the team for the past 2 decades. So pretty nice finish by us. So yeah, at regionals I ran an 18:38, which was not a good time for me at all. It was a pretty bad time in all honesty, because last season I ran a 17:58 and I was kind of fighting an uphill battle with myself this season. And then I changed that and ran an 18:11 at States with the 27-second PR, and my last States race, which was at pre-States, 18:45 on that same course, and I cut off that much time, with the course also being 20 seconds long. So to me, the day of the race isn't that important. 2 nights before the race, you need to get a good amount of sleep, because that's going to change how fatigued or how ready you are for the race. Because the night before the race, your sleep, yeah, you need like a good 6 to 8 hours, but it's not that big of a deal. 2 nights before is the most important night of sleep. Obviously, your sleep schedule is way more important than all of that, but you want to maintain a good, but it's the night before that is how I get, mentally set. And it's not about, telling myself, how good I am or how I'm him or anything like that. It's getting into a right state of mind, kind of like a peaceful, like relaxation, and kind of like being with myself. So kind of what I do is I just let go of anything that's going on, and I just, I'm hanging out with my teammates, I'm having fun. That's all I care about the night before the race. I'm not worrying about tomorrow, I'm not worrying about what's gonna happen, and I'm not worrying about what's happening back home. So while I'm in Tallahassee, I have fun with my teammates, I hang out with them, and I try to make sure I eat a pretty decent amount the night before the race, because that's important to me. But just getting in that mental state is the most important thing to me. Practicing not thinking is a big one, because for me, my biggest, I guess backset, my biggest, thing that holds me from reaching my full potential is thinking. And I know that actually happens with a lot of athletes. Travis Kelce, I remember, had, after one of his worst career performances recently, he said he was just thinking too much in the game. So it happens with everything, and in athletics too. And not thinking just helps me be more calm, and it helps me do more instead of thinking. So yeah, just not overdoing it and not, thinking too much, just stopping. It's simple. People think it's all this like psychological stuff that you need to practice over and over again. You just stop thinking in the moment and you just keep doing it. It's just one thing that you have to practice as much as you can, and you just stop thinking and you just embrace your surroundings, what's around you, who's around you, how you feel, and not being in here, just being, with your whole self and not just in your mind. And you just have to do that as much as you can all the time, and then it'll kind of default to you and it'll come pretty easily. Yeah, so actually I had this saying with this guy he was kind of a rival from last year, but not, a friendly rivalry from another school. And I had a mantra this year saying, if he can do it, I can do it. So while he was crushing his PRs and hitting these really good goals, I was saying to myself, if he can do it, if he can do those amazing things, then I can do it. So if I was falling behind in a race, I would, the guy I was pacing with and I was just trailing behind a little bit, I would just tell myself just one thing: if he can do it, I can do it, and I just get back in the race. So for cross country, it's like golf. You want to score the least amount of points. Your position is how many points is added to your team. So if you get first place and then your teammate gets 7th place, that's 8 points between the two of you, because 7 plus 1 is 8. So basically, our team was projected 16th place for the state meet, and we were actually in 16th place on the dot after the last second mile. So with 1 mile left, we were in 16th, and I had passed 34 people in that last mile. So I had, chopped off 34 points for our team in the last mile, and we ended up going from 16th place, this is in 1 mile, to 8th place, which was an amazing, and the thing is, that whole time I was sticking, I wasn't like, on them like glue, but I was in eyesight distance of 2 of my teammates, one who I ended up passing at the end of the race, but all of us kind of just moved as a pack. I was trailing behind a little bit, but I caught up, and we just passed tons of people, chopping off points and getting our team from 16th to 8th.
Is there something, because you finished strong consistently over the years, anything that you think helps you specifically in that last mile?
Yeah, at the last mile, what I like to do is I have this routine where once I hit the 2nd mile, the end of it, and I'm going on to my 3rd mile, I have this routine with running. So the first step is I hold my hands like I'm holding 2 dumbbells, and I pump my arms as hard as I can and drive my knees as hard as I can in the most intense way for 10 breaths. And then after those 10 breaths, I open up my hands kind of like knives, and I just kind of go through the wind with less effort and more like building back up myself for 4 breaths. And then the next one is 10 more breaths of holding pencils. Not as intense as the weights, but more intense than the knives. Then back to the knives for 4 breaths. And then the final step, for 10 breaths, I let go of the pencils. And then back to the knives and just recycle. And then the last 200 meters, I just go all out and I hold the weights, and once I see that finish line, I just don't stop, because there's no reason to slow down. When the pride of winning is so much greater than the comfort of not running as hard as you can, because the disappointment you're going to feel when you lose is so much worse than the pain of winning. And when you win, you're going to have that pride for the rest of your life, and you're going to have that sorrow for a long time, and that comfort's going to leave. So I just give everything out, even if I feel like I'm going to die, which is what happened at the end of the States course. I felt like I was going to black out, but I did it. So for younger runners, it's pretty simple. You do the workout coach tells you to do. Running isn't that complicated at all. That's how I got so fast so quickly. I used to run like 8-minute miles in like 7th grade. And you do the workout coach tells you, and you do it the best you can, and you give it your all. But you don't want to, the first mile in your mile repeats or your 1K repeats, you don't want to go all out. You want to hit the exact pace he tells you for half of them. And if you feel amazing, then you cut 2 seconds off. Because it's just about getting 1% better each day, because the days are going to fly by, and if you don't focus on getting 1% better, you're going to look back and see how many days you missed. And if you got 1% better each of those days, if it was a month, you could have been 30% better by now. So it's just getting 1% better each day, which is the best thing you can do for young runners and even young athletes. The coaches, I really like what they do, because they don't hold hostages. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to do it. Even though, they can be, strict on the commitment you make to this team and how you can't just leave after making such a strong commitment, because the team needs you a lot more than you need this PR. And so what I like is how if you don't want to, I guess, fully embrace yourself in the sport, you don't have to. The coaches give you the option. So it's kind of your choice, because that's what makes you a better athlete and a better runner, by making the choice yourself, because you're then more motivated to do it because you want it, and it's not just them wanting you to do it. So I really like how they're open-minded with that. And also they care about kind of our bodies too, with these supplements they give to us and recommend to us. And we have like very long cool downs to help our bodies recover, which makes, my legs feel so much better after that, because I feel more stretched out and I don't feel so tense like how I did in, freshman year in middle school. This year my body has felt a lot better, and I feel like I've been getting stronger in my legs and even the rest of my body, just from the, recovery the coaches have given us. And they've just motivated us so much this year to become such a great team. So I really have to give thanks to them for that.
Perfect.